Hello, data enthusiasts. Today we're diving into the world of web scraping with Python. Web scraping is a powerful tool for data collection, and we'll explore it through a practical example. So, this video is basically the first in a three-part series where we'll create a comprehensive project. In this series, we are tackling a real-world scenario, extracting and analyzing e-commerce data to uncover market trends and consumer preferences. This practical project will showcase the power of Python in harvesting web data and turning it into actionable insights. So our goal here will be to scrape product data from an e-commerce website, preprocess this data, and finally apply NLP and machine learning techniques to gain valuable insights. Today we'll be focusing on the first step, and that will be web scraping. So before we jump into the code and everything, I'll tell you what is web scraping, what kind of tools we'll be using in Python. So web scraping is basically like teaching a computer to grab information from a website. So just like how we read and take notes from a web page, it's a way for a program to automatically collect data from the internet. So you don't have to copy and paste it yourself. Imagine sending a robot to a website to fetch the details you need and bring them back to you. That's what web scraping does. Web pages are built with HTML. Understanding the structure of HTML and CSS selectors is key to pinpointing the data we need. So I'll quickly show you the kind of HTML structure we'll be dealing with. So we are on the Flipkart website. I have searched Lenovo Legion. I have copied the URL for this, and this URL is what we'll be using for our web scraping project. And if I click here on the anywhere in the screen and then I do Control Shift and I, this opens up an inspect tab. This inspect tab holds all the data that is present in the web page as an HTML format. So suppose I want to select the name of this first product. So I will click the selector, click on the name, and this tells me which class, which exact element captures this particular name of the first project. So here we can see that it is div, class, and the name of the class, right? And this has the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro, etc. Similarly, if I go to, suppose I want to extract the price, I can click on the price, and I know which class holds the price. So this particular class holds the price data. Similarly, all the data, the ratings, the reviews, the description, everything is present based on the HTML structure that this website is built upon. So in this, we'll be using Python along with Selenium and Beautiful Soup to extract product details and reviews from an e-commerce site here, which will be Flipkart in our case. In our project, Selenium is the driving force behind browser automation. So what Selenium does is it navigates the e-commerce site, access product details, and opens review pages, mimicking user interactions, which basically means that tasks such as opening or closing of tabs, waiting for web page to load, is handled by Selenium. So you can think of Selenium as our automated browser pilot who is performing actions on the browser for us as a human being. So suppose I want to click this link and open this link in a new tab like it does here. So I can do that through Selenium. I can close this tab, I can close the whole window. All those things are done by Selenium. Once the web page is loaded, Beautiful Soup takes the stage. So the Selenium passes on the everything to the Beautiful Soup, and it goes back and forth throughout the code. It passes the HTML, allowing us to extract specific data like product names, prices, and reviews. So it's a tool for navigating through the web pages and pulling out the gems of information that we need. So suppose we want to extract the price for the first product. So we'll be using Beautiful Soup, give it the attribute, the class and the class name, and it can extract the data that is present along with this class name. So similarly, we'll extract all the following data through Selenium and Beautiful Soup doing back and forth. Again, as all projects and all Python code goes, we'll start by setting up our Python libraries and initialize the web driver for Selenium. So to be able to use Selenium on Chrome, you would need the Chrome driver for it, the link of which I will provide in the description. So I'll also show you quickly how this will be the link I will be giving you. You can go to the downloads and download the Chrome driver according to whichever Chrome version you're using. you can see this is the first line of code which does the importing. We are using pandas, Selenium WebDriver, Beautiful Soup, Time, and some other Selenium driver libraries. I'll run this. The next is that we'll be setting up the URL. So our first task is to extract basic product information. I have pre-selected a URL which searches for the Lenovo Legion like I just showed you on Flipkart. We navigate to the product listing page and use Beautiful Soup to find elements containing names, price, and ratings. I will run this code as well. So all of this code will again be there on my GitHub repo from where you can access it, and whose link I'll provide in the description again. So this is just a function which switches tab. So here we are handling dynamic content, and I'll come back to this later onwards. This is the main code that we have where we are using Selenium and Beautiful Soup. You can read this code later on, go into the details of it, understand each line. I won't go line by line in this project and in this video, but this is really basic, and if you know even a little bit about Beautiful Soup, HTML, how to parse HTML, how to read HTML, how to create CSS selectors, then you'll be able to understand this really well. So I'll give you an overview about some of the things that we are using here. So we are using the driver.get. So this is getting the URL that we gave initially, and it will wait for the page to load, and then it will open the page. And we are using Beautiful Soup to parse the HTML content of this website basically. So here I'll just show you a very quick example of how I'm parsing the HTML of this website. So we have rel as this particular name, right? So if I copy this and I go to the website and I do a control F here, and you can see that this is of an A tag. So I will write an X path for it real quick. So you can see that the XPath that I gave is for A tag. This is just the syntax of the XPath. You can also use CSS selectors here. So this rel you will be able to see here, and then the particular name of that rel. And there are 24 items that it is fetching, which is based on this particular XPath. And if I keep on entering, you will see that these 24 are the 24 different products that are present on this web page currently. And in my code I have given limit 10 because I'm only selecting the top 10 products for this particular project. Once we have gotten the 24 top 10 products, then we'll be iterating over each product, and then we'll extract the name, we are extracting price, rating, number of reviews, number of ratings, and all of those things, and I'm printing it here. The next part will be, so after I've extracted all the data from this particular web page, suppose these two have 0 reviews, so we don't need to go inside them to fetch the actual reviews. This one has 18 reviews, so the code will go into this particular product, it will see the number of reviews it has, it will open another tab which will have the reviews, it will extract all the reviews that are present on the first page of the reviews, and then it will close this tab. It will then again go to the next iteration, go to the next product, then similarly it will check for each product if there are any reviews, it will extract those as well. So this is basically the rest of what the rest of the code is doing, and it just extracts all the data and then shows us. So whenever we are switching with tab, we are going from tab 1 to tab 2nd, we need to tell the soup that the next element that we are giving it, it does not need to find into the first tab, but it needs to select from the new tab. So that's what the switch tab does. It helps in switching the tab from tab 1 to tab 2 and then switching back to it as well. So you see the WebDriver wait. What it does is it checks that if the content of the new tab has loaded or not, and it waits till then. So when the content of the new tab is loaded, then only it tells the Beautiful Soup, now you can select the second tab instead of the first tab, and then the code goes on. So in our code we have used this twice. I'll show you how it is used. So you see here we have used it. We have given the product and comma 1. 1 would be that the tab will be going to the first index, the new tab, and the product will be the source. So here we are switching from the initial products pane to a particular product. So we need to go into each product. So this switch tab is helping in doing that. Then the next switch tab we use is when from a particular product we are going into its reviews. So we don't need to do that for every product. So wherever the reviews are there only we do that. So you see the second switch tab is in a if statement, in a couple of if statements, and here it switches the tab from the product to the reviews tab. This is how we are handling the dynamic content of the Flipkart HTML web page using Selenium and Beautiful. So I'll run this, I'll close the Flipkart tab and I'll run this code quickly for you as well. So you guys will be able to see how this code is working, how it is navigating through the Flipkart web pages and extracting the data, opening tabs, closing tabs, everything is handled by the code itself. You see that using Selenium it is opening new tabs, the review tab as well, and extracting the reviews information and then closing the tabs as it is done, extracting the data. So when all the 10 products are done, it will close this tab and then it will send us back to the Jupyter notebook where we'll be able to see that it has extracted the name, price, ratings, number of ratings and number of reviews. So in the first two there are number of reviews 0. In the third one there is no data regarding the review, so it says no reviews. Fourth as well. The fifth one is where the magic starts. So you see that the number of reviews are 18, and for each review it is extracting the review summary and then the review details. So in the first page there must be around 10 reviews, so it has extracted from index 0 to 9, which will be 10 reviews. Then again no reviews, 1 review, so it extracted the single review, and similarly for the 57 one it is extracted. So you can see how powerful Selenium and Beautiful Soup is, because we can extract any amount of data by just putting in the right XPaths, by right CSS selectors, by right tags, and then doing some little string manipulations, and then we are able to extract all the data that we want from a particular website. So that's it guys for the first part of our project. We have scraped product names, prices, ratings, reviews, and actual reviews which people have given on particular products. So this raw data is our first step towards meaningful analysis. The script can be expanded to scrape additional details or other websites. So think of it as a template for your own scraping needs. And so one thing you need to note is that not all websites support automation, and even while I was trying to find an e-commerce website to automate this project upon, I had to dump out other e-commerce websites because Flipkart was one of those which enabled Selenium automation. So I eventually chose Flipkart then. So if you have found this tutorial helpful, please like, share and subscribe. Your support really encourages more content like this. And stay tuned for part 2, where we'll process our scraped data, make it beautiful, readable and ready for analysis. We'll clean, structure and enrich the data to unlock its full potential. We'll use Python libraries such as pandas, which are really good in handling the data, creating data frames which can further be used for machine learning and NLP processes. So thank you for watching, keep experimenting, and I'll see you in the next video.